Well, Ulysses, we've toyed around with the mailbags on the Locked On Rays podcast. We've done Mondays, Fridays. I think we've done pretty much every day of the week at some point. But during the season, we plan, at least initially, to do a midweek mailbag. See, it has a little ring to it. So that will be up on the show and much more as well.
Tell your friends, Wednesdays are for mailbags.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making Locked On Rays your very first listen every day. And remember, the podcast is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And you can email us anytime or send us a voice memo anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. So, Ulysses, we have some very good mailbag questions that we'll roll through. But before we get to that, I'm going to unveil the big elephant in the room, which is, I guess I sort of, in a way, have jinxed the Rays. There's been some interesting games and outcomes between the Rays and the Athletics so far in this series. There was the clunker on Monday, and then the comeback win on Tuesday, which, that could have gone either way.
Yes.
Now, question. Were you able to watch Tommy Romero's MLB debut?
Very good word, because I did not watch it. I heard it on the radio.
And it didn't sound very good.
It sounded like the thing I was worried about came to fruition. Did not have the pinpoint control. And when you don't have pinpoint control, what happens is that you get pulled pretty quickly, because you walk not one, not two, not three, not four,
but five
guys in less than 2 innings. So I can definitely say, and I think every Rays fan can say, the nerves were an issue yesterday.
Which, again, I'm not saying it is way too soon to say I told you so. And it's not even fair to do that. But yes, the nerves of making your MLB debut. Let's also remember it's a Tuesday night at the Trop with 7,000 fans against the Oakland Athletics. It's not necessarily Yankee Stadium on the road in front of 40,000 in September.
Right.
But, and the other thing that concerns me about his MLB debut is, the control is an issue with his fastball. It's not like he's throwing a 98, 99 fastball. It's trying to control 88, 89, 90 mile an hour fastball.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a problem. Now, out of probably necessity, and I totally am in the camp of keep rolling a guy out there, give him second chances, give him third chances. Don't let this be, oh, you don't have it, bud. You're never getting an opportunity or a shot again. But because another Rays pitcher bites the dust, JT Chiguah, I think Tommy Romero is going to have to stay up. And it's not like Tommy Romero is the only guy that has gotten blasted so far this year for the Rays. Chris Mazza is another one. So I think give Tommy Romero a little bit more time. Don't let this be your final impression of him. I hope he's able to turn it around. I just think because I feel like I jinxed the Rays by saying, hey, pitching injuries, once one happens, 10 happen.
Yeah. And
within a week, it's like one guy goes down, another guy goes down, third guy goes down. Luis Patino's injury looks worse than we initially thought. This is 5 days into the season, and we're already like, oh my gosh, are we going to have enough pitching to roll through this thing?
You could definitely make already like a starting rotation almost and a bullpen with the guys on the IL.
Yeah.
So that part sucks. Look, I think they were. I think what they did. I don't know if a lot of people have talked about it, but the two guys making their debuts. I mean, Aller and Romero. They both did not have a good time yesterday. So to Aller, I would say the same thing that you did, right? Oh, it's 7,000 at the Trop. How are you nervous, Mr. Aller? But again, those are wrinkles. Debuts, throw them out the window. I don't care about that. Yes, he'll stay, and I think that it's good for him to kind of be in a situation where the team is not depending on him to be a number one or a savior.
Yeah.
They just want, hey, dude, take the ball, cover some innings, we got you. Like, I think that's a very healthy way to push a young starter rather than be like, oh, hey, imagine if he was like Shane Boss and he gets blown out like that. Now that would be troubling.
Yeah.
But he's not the guy that everybody's waiting for. So I'm okay with that. Now the injuries, the Patino one seems to be a little bit more difficult to get over than the JT Chiguah one, because apparently it's a strain, and then the other one is a what's less than a strain, I guess. I don't know. A mild strain, a mild discomfort, uncomfortability,
a lesser strain.
Yeah, so that's with JT. JT's is less than Luis Patino, so that should bode well. But yeah, you're right. The injuries piling up is not good. But at least the Rays came out with a W when they needed to, because if you have a clunker followed by a depressing comeback loss, that could really demoralize a whole clubhouse.
A game that lasted 4 hours, 12 minutes, where 397 pitches were thrown by 14 pitchers combined and 17 walks. Talk about a marathon game. Again, if you let Monday's game bleed over into Tuesday, it can spiral out of control real quick. And that's why, I mean, we've had this discussion in point before that, in the midst of the Monday clunker, when you're rolling out Brett Phillips to pitch on the mound, come on, let's institute a rule already that just says, here's one of our, hey, see, yep, you guys want it. White flag. We'll come back tomorrow and have our boys ready.
You know how I feel about it? I don't understand. You're putting a position player, it's quirky, it's fun. Of course, it's Brett Phillips, so it's going to be more quirky. It's going to be more fun. You get amazing displays of athleticism like that sliding catch that he did. Albeit all of that.
I hate to be negative Nelly, but what if he, twists his ankle coming off the mound on that?
Yeah.
What if he, tries to do something funky with a pitch and he hurts his arm? Now his throwing arm is out of commission. Like, he could get hit in the face by a pitch. A multitude.
There you go. Number one and number three, I'll buy. Not number two, but number one, stepping off the mound to get a ball. Yes, that could happen, and that would be horrible. And number three, getting blasted because he's throwing 52 mile an hour whatever into the sweet zone of a guy's barrel. Yeah, I would be worried about that too. So just why is baseball just refusing to look around the world and take off the blinders and be like, oh, you're right. This is not 1905. It's 2022. And we can change things. Mm-hmm. We can change things. Look, for all of that like, oh, you're changing baseball. Like, I get it. I love traditional baseball. I understand. But you have to understand where you are located in present time. The people that hated designated hitters in the 70s, are they still watching baseball?
Yes.
Yeah, they're still watching baseball. Or they're dead. Yeah. So, like, not to be, kind of crude here, but it's okay. Change it up.
And if you were watching that game long enough to see Brett Phillips enter the contest, the game, you find a hobby. Find a TV show. You should not be watching a game like that.
Guys, turn it off. Turn off the TV. Like, it's going to, and I've been there. I've been that guy. I've been that fan, like, watching it and just like as a sort of masochism.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Just pick up a book, and it's actually better for you to read that book, and then the next day read the box score.
Third, fourth game of the season, blowout against the Athletics. I get it if it's September, it's a playoff race, playoff chase. I get it if it's a playoff game, and I know the Rays have their history of comebacks, but there is no reason whatsoever you should be listening to that game or watching that game or doing anything with that game. That's where you shut the television off and say, I'm doing something else.
And that's why it was very, very important that Margot came out with that walk-off win.
On the next day,
because you can't have a back-to-back. That would just have been horrible for team morale and for the fandom as well. Like, oh my gosh, are we getting two horrible losses back-to-back against the Athletics of 2022? Not the A's of 2021, not the A's of 2018 or 2019. No. The 2022 A's are giving us two horrible losses back-to-back. So very thankful.
Yes.
The Tuesday night game, it ended with happiness and joyful smiles around.
Yes. What we should also be happy and thankful for and joyous about is Built Bar.
You're right. And you know why? Because they are both healthy and delicious. So it's like the two worlds just colliding into your mouth, being really good for you. And when things collide into your mouth that are healthy and delicious, boy, you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's what Built Bars are. Again, look at the macros, guys. Most Built Bars contain 130 to 180 calories. And they're going to taste just like a candy bar. Where else can you get that? Nowhere else. That is the answer.
Yeah.
Except for one place and one place only, and that is built.com. Because when you go to built.com and you use promo code LOCKED15, you get to peruse all of those flavors. You get to pick and choose, sit and lose all your different crews of Built Bars, and then use promo code LOCKED15, and you're going to get 15% off on that order. So today, get all your Built Bar needs at built.com. Use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off at built.com.
Question.
Yes.
Before we move on to a couple of mailbag questions, I do want to circle back to Tommy Romero's debut, which of course wasn't that great, but again, not going to judge him entirely on that. Can you remember or think of like the worst MLB debuts for a Rays player, pitcher, or position player?
Wow. Good.
Any that come to mind of like, oh my God, there was so much hype for this guy. Not that like Tommy Romero is the most hyped prospect of all time or anything like that, but they make their debut and it's like, oh, that wasn't that great.
I think Morse was pretty good. Snell's was pretty good. Hellickson's was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, usually that's the way
Moss
it
was
is
pretty
because
good.
the opposing hitters haven't seen that prospect that gets called up.
Question, but is it because not only the nerves of like, hey, you're coming up tomorrow, like maybe Helly, Moore, all of them, Price, they were all Shane Boss, they were all towards the end of the season, like they had been expecting, like, oh man, I'm gonna get the September call up. Gonna get the September call up. They had a whole, Tommy Romero also had a shortened spring training. Tommy Romero also is not fully stretched out. He's not fully in the game. So I think, honestly, got just a rotten deal. But,
and maybe he was also at his wit's end of like, what's it going to take for the Rays to call me up? 28-man roster, still didn't get a call up.
Right.
50 players injured last season on the Rays roster. I still can't get a call up. 450 innings in the minor leagues with a sub-3 ERA.
Yeah.
And I can't get a call up. What's it going to take?
Well, he needed to get some, at least a dozen minor league starts in AAA, and that's what he got last year. So, well, now is his chance.
I will say one name that comes to mind, position player, and not saying this was the most highly touted guy either, but when he made his MLB debut, it's like, this guy does not belong in the bigs. Kevin Padlo.
Oh, yeah, he looked lost.
Yeah.
He looked completely outmatched in every facet of the game.
6 at-bats, you watch of him and you say, that's a quad A player.
And you know what? It sucks because in spring training, we looked at him and we watched him closely, and he was performing perfectly. I mean, he was doing really, really well. And then when he got the call-up, I mean, he was just completely
that happens
unmatched.
with some guys. It's what happens. All right, let's move on to well, again, we always put priority on voice memos that are sent in to lockedonrays@gmail.com. So we're going to answer a couple of them today. Ulises, who do we have up first?
First, we got Kevin Canary. I believe he's in the Middle East, right?
I believe so, yeah. For working as a surgeon for the Army, I want to say.
I think so,
I don't want to blow a spot up, but doing great work.
Yeah, doing great work. So let's hear from your namesake, Kevin Canary.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Canary. Love the show. I'm excited for the season. I was wondering, do you have any insight onto who on the Rays is unvaccinated and whether this will impact their ability to play in Toronto?
That is a good question, Kevin.
Yes, it is.
I don't think fans would know.
Yeah, quite frankly, I have no idea. I know last year around this time that the Rays had announced that they were at the 85% vaccinated mark,
which included coaches and staff. So It wasn't only, it was tier 1 people. So
Okay.
everybody that's in like the clubhouse.
But I would go on a limb and say that not every player in the clubhouse is vaccinated. I don't know
Correct.
if this guy is vaccinated or unvaccinated, but I know Brandon Lau was very outspoken, I guess you could say, he wasn't, let's just say he wasn't going to bat for the vaccine. I'll just put it like that. So
Right.
he could be one. Quite frankly, it's none of our business, as far as what their medical reports and choices and as far as that's concerned. The other thing too about all this is I wonder if these rules and regulations will be rolled back as the season goes deeper, because the Rays don't go to Toronto until July, I believe, unless the government of Toronto and Canada has all but said this is what it's going to be for the entirety of the season.
I just like it happened with New York and that it changed. I think this is such a fluid situation that it could change tomorrow. But in the case that it doesn't, if you're just looking at statistics in the country and in a group of any more than 5 or no, actually 10 people, I think it's like 2 would be unvaccinated. So I would think there are players that are unvaccinated. Now, I don't think that when that time comes, there's going to be a big name missing. I don't think so, because this is also their livelihood too.
Yeah.
So they would have to be put in the restricted list. And when you're put in the restricted list, you're not going to get paid. So do you imagine a Brandon Lau, a Wander Franco, a whatever X name you may have, to say, you know what, I'd rather not get paid all the times that I'm going to be playing in Toronto. When it's an intradivisional, I don't.
So that would be what,
that.
9 games, so 9 days. I mean, I would think those guys do have long-term contracts. If they are really that concerned about the vaccine and what it could do to their bodies going forward, I would say, they'll miss a paycheck and a half if that's what it takes.
I don't think so. You know why? Then I'm gonna go push
and
harder.
Also, the wives and their family members, they might not. Go ahead. What's your argument?
If you're going interdivision, I don't think they want to miss those games, right? Because they're also competitors, right? So they want to perform at their highest level. They don't want to miss a paycheck, but also the Toronto Blue Jays now have kind of the spotlight on them.
Right.
And I think that is going to be a very competitive team. And the Rays don't want to lose the 2 back-to-back division championships. I don't think that they would just forgo all of that competitive side to just, I'm not going to get vaccinated. Like, even if it's the one dose, the Johnson & Johnson that they'll take, I think they would rather do that than miss all the games. And lastly, let's also think about the playoffs. So you're telling me that they're not aware that they could meet this team in the playoffs and they would just sit out during the playoffs, either a wild card series or an ALDS, ALCS, whatever may have you. I don't. I cannot name a player in the Rays organization. Other teams, sure, whatever. But like following this team so closely, knowing their personalities really well, I don't see a guy that would be leaving their team in at that time.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out who isn't in the lineup or on the pitching staff. At that point in time. My advice, I guess, is if you're not vaccinated and you still want to play, call Antonio Brown and get that fake vaccine card. Work some shenanigans.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
With Antonio Brown, he got a fake vaccination card?
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? It's easier to get vaccinated, folks, instead of getting a fake vaccination card.
I mean, I can just, Rays players, if you want to scan my vaccine card, go for it.
If they just
I'm
pay
sure,
up.
honestly,
Just pay
I
up.
don't think it's that hard to get a fake vaccine card. These guys can get. These are pro ball players. They can find their way. Money talks.
Hopefully, they won't have to do anything under the table, and everything's going to go smoothly. And Rays fandom are going to be able to enjoy every single one of these guys' talents in Toronto.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that. This is, I don't think the end all be all reason, but it certainly is a consideration, is the different rules and regulations between Canada and the US as far as having a split city.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like you add this to the equation, good luck.
Yeah,
Next pandemic happens,
done.
not fun. All right, let's hopefully I wasn't expecting us to talk about, I thought COVID went away. I thought we were done with COVID. I went to the Trop the other day. Nobody was wearing a mask.
Nobody was wearing a mask.
Yeah, nobody was talking about.
6 feet.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Just normal.
Everything was normal. People sneezing all over each other.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
sounds
So
nice.
let's move on to the next question. Maybe this is more baseball on the field related.
I think so. This is from the winner of last year's prediction of 97 wins, Mr. Jesus Colon. So let's hear from him.
What's going on, Kevin, Ulises, all the Locked On Rays listeners? This is Jesus. Just want to share some news with you guys. Me and my wife are expecting twins. You already know they're going to be 2 Rays fans, and of course, I will not buy jerseys for them, knowing this team and knowing our front office. But all jokes aside, we're excited for that. We're excited for the season as well. I've been listening. I'm sorry I haven't sent in any messages, but I wanted to give a few predictions I have. First prediction is I think we're going to win 95 games. Second prediction is I think Wander Franco may surprise us all, and he's going to hit 30 dingers. And then also, I believe that Corey Kluber is going to be top eight starting pitcher in the league. He's going to have a resurrection season, and he's going to lead us the way Charlie Morton did, and it's going to be a fun ride. I love the show, as always. You guys are awesome, and raise up. Let's get it. It's baseball time.
Well, thank you, Jesus, for always giving us those audio files, man. We enjoy him.
Yes,
he's got a good personality, and congratulations on the babes, man. That's awesome. Which one do you want to tackle first?
I guess let's go in order. I do want to mention the not buying jerseys for the Twins, the forthcoming Twins. I totally get that, and I in the past would be on board with that, but I think you can invest in a Wander Franco jersey. I think now's the time. If there's one guy, that would be the guy to do it.
And I think one twin should have Wander and the other twin should have Franco on it.
I like it. And speaking of Wander, I still think it's a little bit premature to expect him to hit 30 homers this season. Let's keep in mind that, well, he's yet to have a home run as of this recording. He has more power from the right side, but he's going to get more opportunities from the left side being a switch hitter. I can't even think of, I would have to go down the list and think of how many 30-plus homer switch hitters there are or have been in baseball. I can't think of
a tough one.
All that many. And I mean, I think Wander's going to get pitched around quite a bit this season. And he hasn't, 30 seems excessive, especially for this year. He's got the exit velo numbers. He's got the power potential. It's more of a line drive approach as of right now, which I'm not saying is bad. I'm just saying I see more maybe 18 to 22 this season on the high end.
I'm going to keep it to 15. I think if he hits 15 home runs, it's a really good, solid season for him. I think your bold prediction was that no Rays player would hit 30 home runs.
Correct.
So I think we're both feeling that maybe the baseball's not going to be as juiced this season, but Jesus feels different. So,
and I mean,
again, if he does do that, then again, he will be on the show.
If you look at Wander's spray charts so far this season, I mean, he's put the ball all over the place, but it's not like they've been, hey, a lot of balls at the warning track off the wall.
No. It's solid line drive contact, and I love that. I wouldn't change that for a minute.
Yeah.
I would rather have a guy hitting literally 524 right now.
Yes.
He went 0 for 1 in his first at bat in Wednesday's game so far as we're recording. So I don't believe the 30, Jesus. I think that's just a bit too high for my taste.
Yeah.
And the last one, he said Corey Kluber, right?
Well, there are 2 more, 95 games.
95 games. You're right. That one came second. 95 games.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. I'm on 94, and I think you're at 93 or 92.
I'm like 90 to 92. I think at least 90, but after watching these couple games against the Athletics, I don't know. And after all these injuries already stacking up, I think 95 is a little bit bold, but again, Jesus, I thought he was bold last season with the 97, and the Rays went out and won 100. So
that's right.
I could totally be eating my words pretty soon. The Corey Kluber, I assume he means top 8 starting pitcher in the American League, not in.
Yeah, I think
the
for the
MLB.
Cy Young. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look, I would love that. I already said that Corey Kluber. My bold prediction was Corey Kluber would pitch more innings than Luis Patino, and that one's looking pretty tasty right now. So. Yeah, nothing would be better if at the end of the day Corey Kluber has pitched triple-digit innings for the Rays. That probably means that it was a really good triple digits, because I don't see how they would keep throwing Corey Kluber out with a 5+ ERA. Like that,
Right.
I don't see it.
Well, they did it with Michael Walker.
Somebody had to throw.
Somebody's got to pitch.
Yeah.
If these injuries keep piling up, hey, somebody's got to get the ball.
But Corey Kluber has never been that guy.
No. I just think it's top 8 is pretty bold. That means you're probably getting quite a few Cy Young votes, and
at least down ballot.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he turns out to have the best numbers of any starting pitcher on the Rays roster, but top 8 in all the American League. I think that's very, very difficult, particularly when you consider some of the bounce back candidates. Like Noah Syndergaard is playing for the Angels now.
Yeah.
You've got, I mean, you just go down the list. I mean, between the Blue Jays and the Angels and the Astros, I mean, that's like 8 guys right there that you might put ahead of Corey Kluber. But I do see a scenario possibility where this is one of our prop bets, that he throws 135+ innings and has a sub-4 ERA, which I think is, 3.75 ERA. I think that's very, very good. But that's not top 8, I don't think.
No. I think top 8 would be a remarkable season where he's coming out of nowhere and might even win him a comeback player of the year. Honestly, like that's how big it would be if he were to reach that height. But no, I'm okay with him just being a good mentor in the clubhouse for the young guys. And like you said, if I don't think 135 innings, but I mean, if he gets 110, 120, that is way over gravy. I said in the offseason, if he gives the Rays exactly what he gave the Yankees, that's a good $8 million.
Yeah.
So we're talking already, if he reaches 110, 120 innings, that's gravy.
Question: who will be the American League Cy Young this year?
Oh, man.
Need a name.
No.
You don't want to say Garrett Cole.
Gross. I don't want Pinstripes winning that. No.
Is it somebody? Do you think? Will it be somebody from the AL East? The Blue Jays, the Red Sox?
No, I don't think
Yankees,
so. I don't think so.
John Means?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But it won't be a Rays player.
I don't think so either. No.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Well, actually, Shane McClanahan just got served up a big home run. So it's
Meatball McClanahan is back.
So the Rays are.
Was it on a slider?
I didn't see, but it was a 3-0 game now. So by Sean Murphy with 2 men on. So not good.
I am really eating my words here on saying that I do think the Athletics are crap, but the fact that I said that their lineup is nothing to. Like, it's not a good lineup, but they're still big league players at the end of the day, and they can go off for a couple games. And Sean Murphy's a very good player, too.
91-mile-an-hour slider.
It's always the slider.
Off the plate.
I'm telling you. That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your very first listen every day. Now make your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you on Thursday.